So we spent 20 years now, almost 20 years now, under a black cloud.
But Richard Scrushy says new evidence is shining light on his case, and he says it proves he was wrongfully prosecuted.
It's important because of my family. My children are living a life with a cloud over them that their dad was a federal criminal. That's a lie.
An emotional Scrushy stood in front of the federal courthouse in Montgomery, where he was convicted alongside former Governor Don Seigelman in 2006 in a government corruption case.
Dale Jackson here for Yellow Hammer Now. Now, I didn't expect to cover this story because it's kind of ridiculous. Former Health South CEO Richard Scrushy is seeking a pardon for his government bribery convictions that happened forever ago. It's kind of ridiculous. Don Seigelman was involved as well. The former governor, of course, served prison time too. And now Scrushy is saying this is wrong, and his lawyers are being rather colorful about this, but I'm more interested in Kyle Whitmire's response to this because Kyle Whitmire is actually right. AL.com's Kyle Whitmire actually got this story right, so I feel like I need to talk about it. But first, let's take a look at what the lawyers and others are saying about this.
Former longtime Seigelman aide Nick Bailey provided the key testimony that led to the conviction. Scrushy says Bailey has now recanted and is willing to testify.
He said to me, put me on the stand, put me under oath. I'll tell exactly the truth. You did nothing wrong, Richard. That's the only witness I had.
Scrushy also says the prosecution failed to turn over evidence.
We have a statement from Nick Bailey that says that he met with the federal government over 70 times. He said 24 of those times he was talking specifically about Governor Seigelman and I. That's 19302s the FBI did not turn over to us, that the federal prosecutors are required by law to turn over us. We didn't get them, folks.
Scrushy spent 5 years in prison. He's now asking the Department of Justice to investigate, and President Donald Trump's new pardon czar to look into the case. His attorney, Tommy Gallion, plans to file a motion to reverse the convictions, and he made it clear he's going after those who locked up Scrushy and Seigelman.
And I have one word for them. Buckle your up. It's a federal crime what they did. They need to go to prison.
The prosecutors have had their fun. They got their promotions. It's time now for them to pay their dues.
Scrushy says he has been in contact with Seigelman. Scrushy says the former governor is 100% behind his legal efforts.
Now, let me be clear about this. Everything said there is kind of crazy, but it's not even the craziest thing that was said. There's a lot of talk about 666, the devil being involved because of the statute and the date in which the sentencing took place. It is all completely nuts. But let's pretend that there's some merit to this, like this news report does. Even AL.com's Kyle Whitmire sees through this, and that guy never gets anything right. And even he sees that Karl Rove was not behind this scheme, and he understands that if there was a Republican scheme to put Richard Scrushy and Don Seigelman in jail, the Obama DOJ and the Biden DOJ would have had a lot of reasons to come out and say, look at this weaponization of the Justice Department. That is not what happened here. And everybody knows it. So please, can you guys just go be convicted felons somewhere else? There's no reason to be dragging this up and continuing this conversation. And I can promise you, if Kyle Whitmire understands that you have no case, then you have no case.
Every year in Alabama, we miss out on between $65 and $90 million in tax revenue by not legalizing sports betting here in our state. Money that can be used to improve our roads and bridges, or elevate our school systems and support our first responders. Contact your legislator to ensure sports betting is legalized in Alabama. Learn more at betonalabama.com.